Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is kind of fun for you. First of all, I want to address my break. I did post a vlog last week. It was my first attempt at a vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to do more of those and get better at them. But if you missed my announcement, we are expecting our third baby, and I am now officially in my second trimester and I'm feeling much better. So I'm back to creating content for you. So today's video is kind of fun. I thought I would do how I used to do my makeup to how I do my makeup now. One of the reasons I'm really good at helping people learn how to do makeup is because when I started, I was really bad. Like, wait till you see some of these products and how I used to apply them. I was awful. And then I took the time to learn, and that is why I'm so good at instructing people on how to learn a simplified makeup routine that you can do on your own because, girl, I've just been there. So that is something you want to see. Please hang tight. Thank you so much for joining me today. I do my best to upload every single Thursday, and let's get into the video. Do not forget to like and subscribe if you like the content that I've been putting out for you. I will see you in a few minutes and we'll do some old makeup. All right, so I figured we'd start with my old makeup routine versus my new makeup routine. Now this makeup, I am taking a risk for you all. This makeup is close to 4 years old. It's pretty dang old. Actually, one thing isn't, but the rest really is pretty old. And the only reason one isn't is because what I used to use, I don't have anymore. It broke, so I had to get a replacement. But it's a similar product. So that is the only thing that is different. The rest of the makeup is far expired. So I'm risking my skin for this. Keep in mind, back then when I bought my makeup, I didn't know anything about color matching. I had no idea what undertones were. I was literally the person that walked into the store and said, this looks good, and then bought it and then hoped for the best. And I didn't know any better. So we're gonna get into it. So these are the products I'm going to be using. This is the one makeup brush that I had, not counting the one eyeshadow brush I had. Like, this was all I had for tools. So I'll be using these. I made sure that it was dirty because back then I didn't even clean my dang brushes. This was the foundation that I had been using before I switched to my Saint Beauty routine. It is the Ulta brand Demi Matte foundation with SPF, which we love SPF. And I mean, it looked good in the shade Ivory. I don't think I'm Ivory, so I have a feeling this is going to be really light. This is the brow palette I used to use. It's by Younique. Looks pretty good. I had one eyeshadow palette. Most of it is broken. So we're going to be using this. This is MUA brand. I believe I got it at CVS. And then the one product I did have to replace was my bronzer and blush palette. I used to use a pure palette. So this one is I don't even know, Wander Beauty. It's a bit of a newer product, but the tones seem similar. And we're gonna give it a try. So let's get to applying. Now, I do have a sponge here, but I didn't use sponges back then. I used my fingers or a brush. So I'm gonna try not to use it. But I am going to do my best to apply some makeup. Now, back then I didn't use primers. In fact, I don't use primers now either. So we're not going to use one. This comes in a pump. I don't know if this is still available at Ulta. I'm assuming it is. But I'm going to pump it in the back of my hand. I'm trying to see the expiration date. It doesn't say. I'm sure it's very expired. So I'm just going to pump it on the back of my hand and hope it still comes out. It looks really light, and I'm just gonna do my whole face with it. We'll snap a picture, and then we'll do my current beauty routine, which you have seen before. This is a brush by Real Techniques. It's called the Buffing Brush. So I'm just gonna go off the back of my hand here, and oh goodness. And we're gonna see how this goes. Oh my gosh, it's so light. I'm gonna try to fix the lighting. Hang tight. Okay, I got rid of the sun altogether and went to my ring light, just because I want you to be able to see a little bit more clearly. what's happening here. So I did one pump and it doesn't seem to be enough, and that's typical of, oh my god, having the wrong shade of makeup. This is really light. It definitely smells like sunscreen. Look how light that is. This isn't, oh good lord. Okay, clearly I knew nothing about color matchings, but we're just gonna work, we're gonna work with what we have here. I'm gonna have to keep pumping this out because you have to use a lot to try to get coverage here, and I mean, oh my god, look how light that is. Oh my god. I forgot to show you all my concealer too. It's by Smashbox. It's their Studio Skin waterproof in the shade Light. So we'll use that too. Oh my gosh, guys. All right. This doesn't even feel good going on. Like, I kind of feel like I'm doing nothing. You can still see my redness, the texture coming through my skin. I mean, it kind of covered that red spot there. I have some weird broken blood vessels lately because of pregnancy, so it isn't even touching the redness on my nose. Oh my god. It's so bad. Okay. I'm gonna have to pump more out. Okay, I have a lot of veining here. And I typically would use a darker shade, and I also get really red where I lay my glasses on my bridge of my nose because I'm allergic to plastic in the lens pad thingies. Okay. All right, I feel ghostly right now. Like I have no color. Oh my gosh. Okay, because I've kind of packed it on here to try to get some coverage, I feel really, it feels heavy, which I'm not a big fan of. I like my makeup to look like skin and feel like nothing. Normally I would go at this with, I mean, knowing what I know now, I would go at this with a beauty sponge and do the best I can to kind of pick up excess product, but I'm afraid if I do that, one, I won't be true to what I used to do, and two, I mean, honestly, we'll probably just pick the product up. So, okay, it is what it is. We can't do anything. So we're gonna go in with our concealer. I used to do my concealer like the YouTube people told me to. So I would do the big triangle of concealer. Oh my god, it's really bad. Now Smashbox is a good brand, but knowing what I know now about concealer application and the fact that I have mature skin, this is really light too. I would not apply my concealer this way, and I could do like how I apply my concealer video. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this feels really heavy under my eyes too, so I guarantee you it's gonna show texture. And I never used translucent powder to set my makeup or setting spray because I didn't know any better. So this was just what I did, and then I just walked away from it. And thank God I didn't use powder because I have dry skin, and that foundation is a matte foundation, which, I mean, I think that's accurate. It looks really dry. All right. Okay, I don't even think that concealer did anything. I mean, what do you guys think? All right. Then I would bronze and blush. I didn't have a fluffy bronzer brush, which is what I would use. And the shade of bronzer that I found that was the closest match to the Pure Beauty palette I found is really fair. Again, apparently I thought I was the fairest of the fair. I am certainly not. So we're just gonna do the dew and bronze as I would. I honestly would not use a shade of bronzer this light. It's not going to do anything to add any warmth. I mean, it's doing a tiny bit, but this palette is really for the fairest of the fair. It's not going to add any. I didn't contour back then, so this is all I did. Oh my god, if I could show you how cakey and dry this looks. I'm going to take a still photo. It looks so bad. So this is supposed to add warmth to my face. It's barely doing that. It's really too light of a shade. Oh my gosh, we'll do a natural light in a minute. There's gonna be no saving this. I always bring my bronzer down my neck. I even did then, because I'm pale. It's not helping. It's not helping, good grief. Okay. The blush is a lovely color, actually. I also was given, actually that's really pretty, like, you know, at Ulta you get like a birthday present. They gave me like a small NARS Orgasm, so I do have that, but I don't think I used it at all. Okay, this is awful. Well, the blush is pretty. We'll just go with that. Okay, it is. It is what it is. All right, my old brow brush is in here somewhere. This is my old brow brush. It didn't have a spoolie, or it did have a spoolie. It broke off. I never replaced it. And honestly, this brush tip is too thick for my brows. My brows are small. So I used to use this palette. It's basically what I do with my brows now. It's like an eyeshadow consistency. The mirror in this is broken. That's how old it is. So it's useless to me. And I used to just fill them in. And without a spoolie, they would be too dark, guaranteed. And I didn't use a brow wax, and you can see I have wacky eyebrows. So this is gonna be really awful. This brush is too thick. It's not gonna give me the strokes in the front. And oh my god, what did I do? I look like Groucho Marx. Don't mind my nails. Okay, yeah, this brush is not a really good brush for brows. It's too thick. So I'm gonna try to blend this out with the tip of the brush. This is just, okay. So I have super fair skin and crazy dark brows, okay. And then I have my one eyeshadow brush that I would use. And I'm gonna do my best to do what I used to do with my eyebrows. My eyeshadow. I didn't know anything about application. So I have my one brush. It's got two ends. Actually, I like this brush. Even to this day, I'll use it. Okay, so I'm gonna take this lightest shade. There's a tiny mirror in here, so I'm gonna use it. And I pretty much just stayed on the lid. And I can show you pictures of when I mean, it's awful. And then I would just pick a color. And obviously this one was my favorite, so let's do that. It's a pretty color. It's like a bronzy shade. I doubt I ever tapped it off. That was inaccurate. And then I would just brush it onto my lid. I wouldn't give my eyes a dimension. I wouldn't do an outer corner. And I didn't ever do eyeliner. And I just did mascara, and I don't have an old mascara. Those I do throw away because they're disgusting. So I'm just gonna use the mascara I typically use, which is Sky High. I never used to curl my lashes. I don't even think I ever did more than one coat. And I was never more than a lip gloss person, and I found my own lip gloss, guys. It's an old Wet n Wild Mega Slicks lip gloss. It was supposed to be clear, but I think I used to put it over stuff, so it's gotten contaminated, basically. So there we go. No lining lips. No doing anything. Let's see what we look like. Okay, I've got me at my front window. We're gonna look at, don't mind my ear, it's all red. Eyes are too, they're not, I mean, this is rough. Try to get in close so you can see the texture under my eyes. It's not great. It's not great. There's a lot of dryness here. This didn't cover my hyperpigmentation. It didn't blend well, that bronzer over the cream. And it's far too light for my skin. Yep, not great. Let's take a picture. Okay, fresh from a face wash. I took a still photo as well as a video in natural light of that makeup look. And now we're gonna do what I normally do with my makeup now. About 4 years ago, I switched to Saint, which is formerly Mascara Beauty, a cream foundation palette. I was drawn to it because it looked super easy, and I had two. At that time, my boys were 2 and brand new. And I had no time at all. I was exhausted and I needed something simpler. So this is what I found. And then a couple of years later, I decided to affiliate with the company, which is what I do now. So I'm going to share with you my current palette. I have a double decker. It's a pretty big palette. And this is my 3D foundation. It is a 3D foundation system. It is cream-based products, which I find great for mature skin and just anybody that likes a nice cream finish, a nice dewy look. I have super dry skin, so it works really well for me. And this is my favorite brush. So this is gonna be the one we're using. I'm pretty much gonna stick to that brush alone because I'm not going to do anything crazy. I'm just gonna do a basic look like I normally would. And this is my camo color or my concealer, color corrector, whatever you wanna call it. It's called Candela and it's going to color correct my redness. And I'm just gonna pounce it here. And because it's cream, it's gonna be super dewy and luminous. Now I have a little bit more redness because I literally just washed off all of that crappy makeup and it took a lot to get it off. I will say that that stuff has staying power because it took me a minute to get it off. I never had trouble getting my Saint makeup off. It just is, it wears all day, but it's so easy to work with. Okay, so this is just gonna go where I have redness. Sorry, I'm shaking the table. And it's just really pretty. And my skin's going through some changes for sure. I'm gonna take a little bit of a lighter shade. It's called White Peach on my jaw. It's also what I use to conceal or brighten under my eye because I'm pregnant. And with that comes hormones. And with hormones comes skin changes. So I'm working with those. I've had to do a little bit different skincare. My skin is just, I mean, I have dry skin to begin with. And man, it's extra dry now. I say girls take your beauty from you. Well, this baby is a boy. I'm pretty sure. My blood work says it's a boy. And yeah, he's taking my beauty a little bit. Dry skin, my hair doesn't look awesome. I just remember with my other boys feeling like I had the best hair of my life. I had the best skin of my life. I was feeling like, you know, radiant, glowy, that pregnancy glow they talk about. And now, no ma'am. No ma'am. It could be I'm just tired too. Because I have 2 other boys at home. And we're in the middle of a pandemic. And life is different and harder. Okay, so I'm just going to take that on my forehead. I don't use a lot of product on my forehead now because I know better. I know that I have texture on my forehead, so I don't add a bunch of product there. That was, you know, something that I learned. Now, I do use a sponge now. I didn't back then. Sponge is barely damp. This is just a sponge. I buy them in bulk on Amazon because I do event makeup and it makes my life easier to use just a bulk sponge. And honestly, I don't think it works any less than any other sponge. So I'm just gonna tap very lightly over this, just my foundation color. Then we're gonna contour. I'm using these days the shade Astoria. Now I sometimes will use a different shape brush, but I just grabbed one brush today to keep things simple because honestly, most days when I'm just doing quick makeup, I'm literally working with one brush. So you'll notice I'm kind of just pinching it to give myself a little bit of a narrower shape. And I'm literally slapping it on because this product is so easy to use that I can do that. Then we'll blend upward. You can use your fingers to do this makeup. In fact, I think I have a finger application. I'll link it in the eye and down below. And if it's not here on YouTube, it's definitely on Instagram and IGTV. And if that's the case, I will link it in the description box. Like, this makeup can be crazy easy. And then I'm gonna grab my bronzer. This is my bronzer. You can tell it's a lot darker than the other bronzer I was using back in the day. But this is a cream bronzer, so it is super sheer, has absolutely no shimmer. You can add shimmer to it if you use one of our cream illuminators in conjunction with it, which sometimes I do. But today I just want a matte look. So I'm just gonna use my fluffy bronzer end of the brush to kind of warm up my face a bit. I don't do a heavy bronzer look on it every day. I just like a little warmth to my face since I contour as well. We're just going for some natural dimension. And when I'm not filming and I'm not explaining and I'm not wiping off makeup from 5 years ago, this does not take very long. This is very quick. And then again, I take it down my neck. To make everything matchy-matchy. And then we're gonna grab one of our lip and cheek colors. I'm gonna grab this color here. It's called Frenchie. It's a beautiful spring color. It's a kind of a corally peach. And all of our blushes are cream and they are lip and cheek products. And if it's a matte, sometimes I'll even use it as eyeshadow. Gives you a nice natural flush. What am I doing? Brows. So for my brows, I do something very similar. I use a similar toned eyeshadow that I used to use, but this time I use a better brush. This is our line brush. It's got a finer tip and a spoolie, so I can control the depth of darkness of my brows. And I know better than to just pile it on. So I just do a light fill on the brows, nothing wild. They need a little grooming. And then sometimes I use a brow wax, sometimes I don't. Since they have a pretty good shape today, I'm not gonna bother, but. You hear my kids in the background, they're playing. And then I'll run my spoolie through it to soften the look, which is a step I used to miss. Never not blend your brows out. Always do it. Now let's talk about eyeshadow. This is typically what I will use. These are my favorite shades. These are all Saint. They're magnetic. If you have other magnetic MAC pots, ColourPop pots, they'll all fit in a compact like this, and you can certainly just purchase a compact and just put your whatever in it. It's super convenient. And up until recently, now I recently purchased, and if you go to my Instagram, you'll see I use it alive, a Morphe brush set, which I actually really love. But up until recently, I typically use this brush, and then this brush. These would be what I would use for my eyeshadow. So we're just gonna do that. So we're gonna do just a basic look that I typically would do. I don't know what I wanna do. I'm kind of wearing spring color. So let's go with, yeah, let's go with this shade here. It's Lullaby. It's probably really hard to see. It's like a plummy, dusty purple. It's really pretty. And now I know a little bit better about eyeshadow application. So I'll tend to make sure I get outside the hood of my eye because I have a slight hood in my crease. I'm just gonna sweep this all over before, and I haven't added my concealer or my brightening shade, and the reason for that is because I usually like to do it after I do my eyeshadow. If I haven't done my eyeshadow first, which most days I honestly do. Okay, so that's that shade there. And then I'm gonna grab, I think, this plummy purple color. This used to be my favorite look, and I'm gonna go in the outer corner with it. And I like to just make a line. See how that just goes out towards my brow, or the corner of my brow. And then I'll blend it. This eye is a little trickier because it's got a bit of a more of a hood. And then I'm just gonna blend that out in the small circles. Now all of this I learned from the people that I work with in Saint, or just by doing general research on YouTube here and practicing and learning, you know, learning different techniques, trying things out. My preferences change all the time. Some days I really love, or, you know, I go through phases where I really love contouring and I'll contour the heck out of my face, and then sometimes I'm doing a simple contour like I did today, and some days I don't use contour at all. I just stick with bronzer. So I think that's indicative of everyone with makeup as we go through these changes, and the trends change, and that's okay. As long as you're willing to learn and have fun, then I think you're doing great. I'm actually gonna grab this color here. It's called As You Wish. I've actually not used this color in a really long time, so it's making me want to use it. It's a really pretty color that is very deceiving. In the tin it looks yellow, but it goes on purple with like a pink holographic. It's a very interesting shade. Did I put it on the right side of the brush? Dear God, Amanda, pay attention. And I'm just gonna use my smudge brush to kind of pack that on the lid. See how pretty that is? I really do love Saint shadows. I do use other brands, but you know, these are beautiful. I have quite a few of them. And they're convenient because they're in my compact, which is probably my most favorite Saint feature, is that everything is one place. And then lastly, I will do liner before my concealer. And I'm just gonna use a pencil liner. This is just an LA Girl drugstore liner in black. I'm not adding mascara because I have it from the beginning of the video. I might curl over the dried mascara, which I know is a no-no, but I can't not have my lashes curled, and back in the day, I never did. And then if I think I need another coat, I'll grab another coat. And then we'll go to the window. This is not helping. We might need to add another coat, guys. Woo. Yeah, I'm gonna curl and then do another coat. Sticky. Don't recommend doing that. But desperate times and all, I'm just gonna use my Maybelline Sky High just like I did before, because like I said in the last video, I don't keep my old mascaras because that's really gross, and they dry out and they're not useful. And then I'm gonna take whatever is on the bottom of my brush here. Your feet. And I'm gonna kind of just run it along my lash line before I add my concealer. Now, I didn't bring my concealer brush, which is silly. So I'm actually going to use my finger. I'm going to go right into that lighter shade, White Peach. And I'm going to pop it here. And I'm going to pop it here. It's much better than that whole little down the nose. And then I'm a little more discerning about where I put my concealer because I have texture under the eyes, and honestly I really wish I brought that brush. That was silly of me. Someday, not in the near future because I now have another baby coming, I will have a setup where I can keep my makeup out and not have to worry about little boys getting their fingers in it. Like I said, that day is not coming anytime soon, but you know, maybe someday. They'll tell you that little boys don't care about this stuff, but my little boys, they do. They're just getting to the point where they see me set up for filming and they don't care that much. Now let's talk about my lips. I use more than a gloss these days, which is good. I will typically use my contour shade, which is what I used on my cheeks and forehead. And I will come under my lip. This brush is a little dirty, so. Sometimes I use a nude lip liner as well. And I'll blend it out with my sponge or a brush. And then I'll grab one of the shades I have in here today. I'm just going to grab Sadie. It's super sheer. It's almost a nude gloss. And then I'm going to tap right into my Candlelit because I'm a little red around here because I had to really kind of wipe hard to get that old makeup off. And that's it. Let's go take a look at what we got. All right, and that's today's video for you. I hope it was fun for you to watch. It was fun for me to make, actually. I haven't used that old makeup in a really long time for obvious reasons. If you're interested in any of the products that I shared today via Saint, I will put my color match form in the description of this video. I will do my best to link all of my old school products. Like I said, some of them are really old and I don't know if they're still available, but I will try, if you are interested in something like that, to put it in there because, you know, you never know. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching.